Everybody's doing well. Um, everybody's doing well wherever you're at. Time is never fluent. Time is never fluent. So I want to talk about this speech that Erika Kirk gave, Charlie Kirk's wife, and I was dissecting and not just dissecting, it was getting information, okay? So Charlie Kirk died in Orem, Utah, okay? Now, as a psychic, you have to go past the illusions and delusions to get the truth, okay? And I kept seeing a clock, okay? Go to my other videos, I kept seeing a clock. So there's multiple people involved in Charlie Kirk, and people probably wonder why am I talking about Charlie Kirk, okay? Because I feel like everything's symbolic, and I feel like the 33 are sending a message to the other 33, okay? Now we think of 333, we think of a order, fraternal order, Freemason order. Every president, every vice president, every politic has been a part of a Mason order. Okay, um, and I was dissecting the message. Okay, so it was a message for the order, and this is some of it what I got. So I don't think she wrote this speech on her own. Okay, at all. Somebody wrote this speech for her. Hey Maria, hope you're doing well. So somebody wrote this speech for her. Somebody has invested in Charlie Kirk. Now, you can go back to my readings. I did. Um, and I did not know at one point. So let's go through to back to his past. Okay. So I asked who is Charlie Kirk? Okay, who is he? Um, and he is some boy that graduated from um, a Christian school, right? But it's more to that. Okay. Somebody looked at Charlie Kirk and they took him under his wing. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I'm seeing money given to him at an early age, 17 or 18. Somebody invested. So he was like a investment for somebody. Okay. They seen potential in him, and I see this clock with him, right? So I want to draw it for you guys. It's on this page, but it's really small. So I'm seeing this clock. I'm going to draw the clock. And the clock is pointed at Pacific time, so the times would be 12. Storm, stop. Stop it. Get down. As soon as I start my lies. So 12, 3, 6, and 9. And here's the clock. So the clock is pointing in the 4 directions. This kind of looks like the menacing wheel, but that's not the energy I'm getting from this. Well, it looks like the menacing wheel. Okay. Now, it's so the day he was shot, somebody was facing 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 and 3 o'clock. So there was somebody on each end of this will be the clock. Okay, so there's somebody that has 9 o'clock, somebody has 3 o'clock, somebody has 6 o'clock, somebody has 12 o'clock. And if you go back to my videos, I explain what I was seeing. So her speech. Okay, people ask me what energy I'm getting from her speech. I feel like somebody wrote her speech for her, and her speech is a coded message for a fraternal order. Okay. And the fraternal order knows exactly what she was saying in her speech. Now I tried to decode some of it. So he died at OREM, Utah. Okay, and I remember I said Utah was a specific location, latitude, grid. So this is important. Okay, this clock. Because I also feel like the last person he spoke to could have been involved in his murder, but it's past this. So if we look past the people that are involved in it, and we go to this Freemason, because that's who automatic the people that automatically, not automatically, but made this hit. Okay. Now I don't know. Remember I said somebody took him in, somebody that was a veteran. I was getting like a soldier, but also investment. Okay, so they invested money, time into Charlie Kirk. Hey JR, how are you guys doing? So they invested money and time, um, and this could have started as early childhood. Also, I'm seeing 17 and 18 is very important in his life. Pivotal moments, they're saying. Pivotal moments. And I'm not giving this a lot of attention, but you guys, when she gave that speech, she was sending a decoded message. Okay, decoded. So decoded or code, no, coded. So let's say code message. Code message. Now we've seen the hand gestures were coded. The message was even a coded message. Okay, double confirmation. Okay, coded message. So let's look at the location. So if we look at where he died Orm, Utah. Now if we look up the word Orm means serpent and dragon. Serpent and dragon. Okay, so it comes from a Scottish name or a British name, an English name. So this would be a old British family or old Scottish family or old German family, because it has England origins, Scottish origins, and German origins. And it even means something else. Okay, a place near Wolfenbüttel. This is in Germany. Okay, WOLFENBUTTEL, Germany. And we got English, England, and we got Scottish rights. So whoever ordered this was a part of a Scottish, German, and English rights. Okay? A Scottish order, an English order, or in German order. Okay? This is who we're dealing with. Okay? Now, if you look up the word, remember I said the location was very, very symbolic, because the word itself literally derives from the word serpent and dragon. So you can look this up. Okay, it's spelled OREM, meaning, and I got serpent and dragon. It also gives a location. So I don't know what's going on over there in Germany. In a specific town in Germany. Wolfenbüttel, WOLFENBUTTL, Germany. So there's something that's located there. somebody that's located there, or where this could be where the Freemasons meet, or this order. This order is also a Scottish rite, a German rite, and an English rite. Okay. Um, and I got serpent and dragon. Shit. Excuse my French. Now, also the word means in shrewdness and craftiness. Okay. Um, Now, I don't know if he was found 33 hours after he was shot or 36, because I feel like that's symbolic too. So if he was found 36 hours after he was assassinated, um, I was writing stuff down. Okay. So I don't know if it was 33 or 36 hours, because that is symbolic. 9, 6. So we're in the year of 9. So was the people that shot him um arrested 36 hours or 33 hours? Because if they were 36 hours after he was shot, that would be 9. And we're in the year of 9. We're in the 9th cycle. Okay, if it was 33, that would be 6. Okay, but we're in the 9th cycle. 9 is all about endings and beginnings. Okay, an end of a old way. Now this old way could be a Scottish old way. Scottish. So I'm seeing Freemasons in the Scottish, German, and English rites. Okay, this is who we're dealing with. Okay, so this is a turning point. Now there's 5 national parks in Utah. And Orm also has its own, it has its own crest. Okay, crest. Your last name, some families have a crest of a coat of arms, and I'm seeing a crest and coat of arms. So this is a crest and coat of arms of a Scottish, German, and English crest. So these are 3 different crests, or it can be under one crest, but I feel like it's 3 different crests. Okay. So it'll be an English crest, a Scottish crest, and German. So Orm also means pleasant, easygoing, and responsible nature. Okay, it's a surname for Orm is a surname first found in Opshire, Celtic. Okay, so this is showing locations, and this would be outside of the United States. So this is different. So I'm being drawn to Scottish, mostly Scottish, some kind of Scottish. So we'll say Scottish origins, Scotland, German, and England. Coat of arms or arms. Okay, so what does this have to do with his crossing? A lot. I felt a lot. And then I said somebody faked their death. You guys remember that? So it also means inhabit England. So England's here. So yeah, English, Scottish, and German. Okay, so all three of these. Okay. Um, and I don't know why I was getting serpent and dragon. Maybe somebody could figure that one out. The serpent and the dragon. Now, there was more people there that's involved in this, but the people that we see in the simulation that's in front of the camera that's been arrested or involved is more higher ranking people that are Scottish, German, and English behind it. Okay. Now, I don't know if they meet at these certain locations. So let me put the name of this place in Germany. What is this place known for in Germany? Okay. What Wolfenbüttel, Germany. Um okay, I don't know what's there, so what is it known for? There's something that's there that's important. Maybe this is a meeting place. Let me see. Okay, what is it known for? There's a University of Science, international renown Herzog Library. What major companies are there? There's castles there. So I don't know this location. I feel like people meet there. So some people meet there. Okay, I don't know who meets there. I don't care. But it's 33. So when we look at 33, we think of Freemasons. Definitely Freemasons were involved in this. Okay. Hold on, you guys. My grandson has the TV up so loud. Sorry about that, you guys. So this a meetup. It's a meetup place. Now there's something there that's important to these people. I don't know, that I don't care. Also, his wife said something about the day he died was September 10th. I broke down the number 10. I got number 5. Okay. So I feel like her message was a coded message, and was for either for 3, a Scottish, German, and English Mason group. Okay. This is what I was getting, you guys. Okay, so and I feel like she didn't write that. Somebody wrote that. And if you see the way her hands are placed on her husband's hand, it's 33. So I don't know if he was a member of the Freemason order. So the number 5 is a Hierophant card. Okay. So the Hierophant card, we think of like higher learning, institution. You have the Hierophant, and she or he are sitting with that red cloth. Remember, I said, go back to my videos that somebody was counseling him or giving him counsel. Okay. Yes, there's more suspects. If you go back to my video, I said how many people I believe that was there. But somebody was in front of him. Somebody was to the right of him, somebody was to the left of him, and somebody was to the back of him. Okay, think about a clock, right? Somebody in your front, somebody to your right, somebody to your left, and somebody to your back. Okay. There was more people that were involved in this that was there. Okay. Um, yes, there's more than one suspect. But I feel like they looked at Charlie Kirk as an investment. Somebody invested in him. Okay. They even, I feel like, gave him money. Okay. This could be millions of dollars. I don't know. But they invested in this man at some point. I feel like straight out of high school, though. Okay. I don't know his true identity. And that's where I was drawn to. Okay. Who is really Charlie Kirk? What's his true identity? Because I was drawn to that too. Um, so when we look at the Hierophant and Tarot, so somebody's person. So I'm gonna do it in the reverse because the way I'm seeing it is the way they're trying to send us code. So there is strife. Okay, in our shadow government, there's strife, you guys, real strife. Okay, there's arguing, there's old traditions, old beliefs. Okay, you have two groups here, one group with old beliefs and one group with new beliefs. Okay, so normally when you think of the Hierophant, you think of somebody as spiritual, wisdom, religious beliefs, conformity, traditions, and institutions, right? So you have this on one side, then you have somebody on the other side with personal beliefs, freedom, and challenging the status quo. So you have good versus evil. Okay, this is what I was picking up. Okay, the good part of it would be somebody that's very, very spiritual, somebody that's has a lot of wisdom, religious beliefs, conformity, tradition, and institutions, and then you have somebody on the other side that has their own personal beliefs, freedom, challenges status quo. So I can't really say good and evil because both of these, the upright and the reverse, is both good. Okay, because you don't want somebody that is conformed to a certain ideology. Okay, because they can't think outside that certain ideology. So I wouldn't say good and evil. I would say it's good. It's good, and it's good both ways, up or down, as above or below. Because the reason why I say that is because now you got to take out the personal beliefs. Okay, when you have your personal beliefs, and your personal religion, and your personal conformity, traditions. Okay, and you're being institutionalized. Okay, it's not good because you can't see past this institutionalized state of consciousness, right? So you got to go past that, and you got to you want to have freedom, right? You want to challenge the status quo. Okay, you want to question everything. Okay, question everything. I always say this: question everything. So the message, that the letter, whatever the statement that she made, was she was sending this message to a different orders. Okay, these orders could come from Scotland, Germany, and England, and America, of course. Okay, and this is a big fraternal order because this fraternal order is everywhere. It's in Scotland, it's in Germany, it's in England. Well, the most places I'm seeing it is Scotland, Germany, England, and America. Okay. So yes, there's more people involved. So there's somebody to his right, somebody to the left, somebody to the front, somebody to his back. Okay, and somebody to his back. And then they said somebody shot from 2 football fields. This is somebody that is experienced to get the job done. Okay. It wasn't those little young boys you're seeing out there. Okay. So what else was I getting? So somebody invested in him. He was very teachable. And I feel like he got to the point where he was maybe learning. And he was, I'm seeing a mentor here. I've always seen a mentor. And he also required knowledge. Now, the knowledge, a lot of us may not agree with the knowledge, but he was molded and he was teachable. So somebody's seen that in him, okay, at an early age. And I don't know his upbringing. Now, also his birthplace is symbolic. I think it's Arlington, Chicago, and he was buried. Arlington Heights, Illinois is very symbolic. Also, I think Arlington, was he buried in Arlington, Virginia? Does anybody know? Or he was buried in Arlington Heights, Illinois. Charlie's dad is an architect who worked for Trump. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That makes so much sense. Okay, but there was somebody else that seen potential in him too. Now, I don't know why I'm getting somebody with military background. Okay, I've been picking this up from day one. So his wife's speech was a message to the other Freemasons. Even her hand over his hands is a message, okay? These are the times where we will be deceived, okay? I seen a pattern in my reads, and I was like, why do I keep seeing this pattern? Something's not right, okay? That makes sense if his dad's an architect. Okay, so his dad was probably a Mason. Remember I said there's something with Charlie that they seen at an early age. So obviously he was a Freemason at some point. He was initiated and he was taken in as a Freemason. Now I feel like this happened when he, like, in high school. I don't know why I'm seeing high school here. Okay. Hey CW. I'm seeing high school. So I don't know if this is when he I feel like he was, his ideology and his ways was being molded, and I'm feeling like from his, remember when I did that read earlier, I talked about people, places, and things. Hey you guys, so I feel like he was being molded. Let me see if I can get an age of when this all started for Charlie. I'm also seeing the number 4 and the number 9, and also the Chicago Cubs played the Tampa Bay Rays on September 13th. This card flew out, so he was definitely in a journey. He's not buried yet, but his body is in Arizona. Okay, so he definitely was on a journey. Now this could have started at 10 years old, because the number 10 is here. Somebody's conducting him, okay? And I believe whoever the conductor is, this could be his father's energy, or I'm seeing like a veteran. I don't know, somebody in military. I've always seen this with Charlie's energy, okay? And they told me that I had to go past what I was seeing because there was a pattern that I was noticing. He was trained and used firearms. Okay, so you guys know what I'm talking about. But I feel like there's an investment. So I still feel like a soldier type energy. It's weird. Okay, and there's somebody conducting him. His funeral will be held on the 21st. Okay, so the 21st is symbolic, so that's a number 3. Well, I got to break down the day. Hold on. September 21st. Okay, her speech was a message to the other Freemasons. State Farm Stadium. So somebody at the age of 10 was the conductor, okay, because Charlie was only 10 years old, okay, so somebody took interest in him, okay. Now we also got the number, okay, so let me get to this. So there was his organization is called Turning Point, okay, so they want to turning point action or something like that. So what the name Turning Point is, like, they want to turn, they want to bend something, okay. And then I seen portals, okay, and I seen portals, and I seen something else. Something else you can go through besides a portal, a wormhole. Thank you, ancestors. Ooh, come through, ancestors. Come through for me. And then I was seeing serpent and dragon. Okay. Now the number 9. So was he was the people that shot him? Somebody faked their death here. Okay. Now the people that shot him were they arrested 36 hours after they shot him or 33? Does anybody know that? And it's for sure because I need to know for sure. Okay, because I'm gonna explain why. Okay, so we're gonna go back to that. So, and serpent and dragons. So give me another clarification that crossing is 10. And the letter that she read, Erika, was written by somebody else. So journey, and there's an ending and there's a beginning. Okay, 19. So this is what I was picking up. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the age 10, he may have took a journey to different places. I don't know. He was taught a different way. But 19, somebody really invested in him. Okay, 33 hours. So 33 is a Freemason number. Okay, so everything about this decoded his death is a code for these Freemasons. Okay, yes, it does seem like a movie. Okay, so there's a beginning and an end to Charlie Kirk, right? But his Erika, the speech that she made, somebody wrote that and she read it, and I would be curious to know who actually wrote that speech. Okay, so at 33 hours from his death, they found the suspects. Okay, so we look at number 6, and we can also look at this in astrology too. Okay, house 6, house 4, I think is communication. Okay, house 4 in astrology is about, it's your 4th house. It's about your family life, right? So family traditions, stability, foundations we create through. So the house 4 would be our family or our very foundation. Okay, so house 4 would be the foundation, the family. Okay, his family life, the foundation. No, his wife didn't write that. I would be curious to know who wrote that speech. Okay, very curious, because whoever wrote that speech knows who killed Charlie and also is a part of this order. Okay, so I'm very curious. Okay, I might pull a card on it. Okay, so at the age of 10 and 19, something symbolically happened to him in his life. I feel like somebody maybe gave him money and pushed him into a certain ideology in a certain direction, and he was also born in a certain ideology, in a certain institutionalized religion and political views. Okay, so I don't know if his father is from the Scottish Freemason, the German, or the English Freemason. Okay, Kirk sounds more Scottish, right? Okay, so I don't know if he's a part of the Scottish Rite Freemasons. The Utah governor said he prayed for 33 hours. I bet he did. And the Utah governor said he prayed for 33 hours. So all this is in symbolic. See, these Freemasons like to play games with us, but what's happening is there's a turning point here. Okay, a turning point of good versus evil. Okay, a true turning point. A true awakening. So number 4 is all about the family and his foundation. Okay, his home. Okay, his children, the legacy. Okay. So it's about his upbringing. Okay, did he come from a stable environment? Was he raised in a dysfunctional home? Okay, so it's all about the 4th house is all about the father. Okay, so we need to look to the father, his father. Okay, father. Charlie Kirk's father, whoever he is. So they prayed for 33 hours and they found the suspects in 33 hours. Okay, all symbolic. Okay, and number 6 is here. Okay. Somebody invested in him, so we can look at his, let's look at his, the 4th house would be the family, the father, something with his father, Charlie Kirk's father. Now we can look at the 5th house. Let's do astrology with this. Okay, so his 5th house in astrology, fifth house will be all about representation, how he was perceived to his children, his wife, to the world. Okay, so it's associated with okay, the 5th house. So the 5th house in astrology represents the realm of creativity, the expressiveness. Okay, the way he spoke, the way he expressed himself. Okay, how an individual expresses their identity and their talents. Okay, remember I said he was supposed to use it for the good. Okay, the only thing he kept good in it, I can say, was, and I have no political views here, is his faith. Okay, never waver with your faith, whatever your faith is out here. Okay, long as it's good, not bad. Okay. So also with the 5th house indicates challenges and conflicts. So there was challenges and conflicts behind the scene. Okay, not in front of us, but behind. Okay. Kirk and Tyler. Kirk born 1990. Tyler was born 2003. Okay. So now, is the people that actually did this crime, they are pawns, because we need to look past them. I'm going past them, behind them. Okay, I'm removing the veil. Okay, I'm going past them. Okay, removing the veil. Okay, so these people were trained. This is a trained assassin. Okay, a hit. So Tyler, the other boy, I have not heard from his parents. That's what I'm saying. Who is his parents? What's his real story? Okay, I would really love to know his real story. And there is information about where he went to college. It has his birthday, October 14th. I would love to know who his parents are. I would love to know who wrote that letter, because the wife that was speaking, that was sending a coded message to the world, to this Freemasons order. You can't find any information. So this is why I'm telling you, there's more to his story. More to his story, my friends. And do I want to put my energy into this? Not that much. But do I want to tell you what I'm seeing as an oracle? Yes. Because it's not what you see, is not what you're not seeing. Okay, what you're not seeing. Okay. And there's some kind of program I see him a part of, and I talked about it. Some kind of like soldier program. And you can go back to my videos on that. Yeah, somebody says, do you think his wife was planted in his life? A lot of times people are brought into your life for especially if they have a vision for you or a plan for you, they will place people in your life. Okay, the beautiful blonde-headed, pretty eyes, memorize Erika's eyes. Now there's something with her eyes. Okay, I was drawn to her eyes. Her eyes was like, when you look at the eyes are the key to the soul, but also the key also to the universe. Okay, there's something about her. Okay, I'm going to do a read on her just alone. But she did not write that letter. Somebody wrote that letter and she read their words off. Okay. Now, the number 9 in astrology. And then we're going to look at the game that was played on the 13th. So the number 9 in astrology is the house that represents the higher learning, right? Your personal philosophy, your belief system. Um, so this also, the house in astrology is also foreign people, international places, relationships. So I really feel like this is international with him, okay? Including matters involving citizenship, passports, residency. Um, so this is all about his international travel, foreign languages, foreign affairs, expansion, higher education, motivated and for the future. Okay, so we'll go to his ninth house. Also in the ninth house rules your higher learning level of schooling, godliness and righteousness. Okay, your morals imply bad morals or good morals. Okay, his mom is Kimberly Ann Kirk. Yes, I don't know. So he comes from a Scottish rank. She's a mental health. I'm talking about you guys. Okay, I'm not talking about the person that. Okay, I'm talking about Charlie Kirk and Erika Kirk. Okay, Erika Kirk did not write that letter. Okay, his mom Kimberly Ann Kirk was a mental health counselor, and Robert Kirk is a architect. Now, the one boy that shot him, his father was a sheriff. So they're all a part of an order. I was working on a case, and this boy was killed by a order. Well, one of the people. It was almost like his knowledge was robotic. Yes, the knowledge was very beyond normal knowledge. Yes, and I see like this portal, and I see this portal, wormhole, whatever you want to call, some kind of portal he went through. Okay, he went through a damn portal. Okay, I seen it with my own eyes. Okay, I had to keep playing it, playing it, and playing it, and playing it, and he went through a damn portal. Okay, I cannot make this up. Hold on. I'm drinking sweet tea. That's the only thing I eat from McDonald's or drink. So he went through a portal. Okay, so he went to a different time. Now this is where Byron comes in. Byron is also a time traveler. Time traveler, and I feel like Charlie Kirk was some kind of experiment. Or time traveler, yes. Yeah, they have this best sweet tea. And I always get it with no ice and lemons. And I told them more lemons, so I have to add more lemon to it. But yeah, so he was a time traveler, and I also believe he could have been like engineered in some kind of way. So we also see this with Byron. Byron is also time traveler, and so is Trump. Okay. He went through a portal. Okay, 155. Okay, I'm not gonna stay on this long. So Kirk, the meaning of Kirk. They have, I agree. His experience, his head shape and face look weird. Yes, he's some kind of like time traveler, or he went through a damn portal. Okay, so he's a time traveler. And it's interesting because this journey card, it has this train, right? And I've seen this before when I did reads of people traveling to different places. They see this train. I remember this story. I'm not going to say who, but somebody that I know says that they remember getting on the train but never getting off the train. Okay, there's a train they took a long time ago as a child, and they never remember getting off that goddamn train. Okay. Yes, I'm going to pull a card on his wife, you guys. So we went to the ninth house. It's about his philosophy, personal philosophy, higher learning, belief systems, explore. So it's about his belief systems, okay? Um, and I remember I did a reading on somebody. And they never got off this train, okay? This train like took them. So it's not like a train I seen, but you have a conductor, and this train can go different places. His wife was born November 20th. Yes. His wife was born November 20th. I think she's on the cusp of a Scorpio, and he's a Libra. And this makes sense. The number 10, Libra, okay? And the 19th, okay? So maybe they were going to bury him on the 19th, and then they changed the day from the 19th to the 21st. Because everything's symbolic with these people, okay? So we can even look at the date of his funeral. But there's an end to something and the beginning to something else. Okay, this is spiritual. I really believe this is spiritual. And I'm seeing the serpent and the dragon. So let me look up the serpent and the dragon, and then we'll get to the Chicago Cubs, because she mentions there's so much I want to mention, but it take me like 5 videos to do it. Okay, so I just want to get to the main things. So the serpent and the dragon. Yes, Storm. Yes, Storm. Okay, so so if you look at the serpent, and the serpent would also be cursed by the Hebrew God to have its limbs served, leaving all future snakes limbless. Okay, so all the snakes, we're gonna see them for who they are. Yes, Orman means serpent and dragon. Okay. So, and this would be in the book of Genesis and Revelations. The serpent has been associated with dragons, such as red dragons in the book of Revelations. Okay. More like the walking and talking dragons. And then you see the angels depicted. Okay, so the serpent is depicted both snake and dragon. Okay, I was getting dragon, serpent, and dragon. So maybe you guys can chime in more with the serpent and dragon. I can go deep in the serpent and dragon, but I don't want to go too deep in it. So I have this here. So this would be Michael, right? So Michael is fighting, right? So Michael looks like an angel, because this is what we're told angels look like, right? And he's battling this winged creature, right? This winged creature kind of looks like a serpent. Okay, I don't know, I'm just bringing this out for some reason. Okay, so we got the serpent and dragons here. Okay, so let's pull a card on the wife. I can go real deep into this, and then we look at the Chicago Cubs game that was on September 13th, which she mentioned. She also mentioned something else. It's so much codes. Okay, I was trying to break down all the codes, but that would take me like 4 or 5 videos to get out. Okay. So if you look at the Chicago Cubs game on September 13th, I think it was the Cubs, or was it the Orioles? I think it was the Chicago Cubs. Didn't she say Chicago Cubs? Does anybody know what team she said? Because I don't know why I was drawn to Chicago Cubs and the Tampa Bay Rays on September 13th. And the Cubs, the Duck team. Okay. Does anybody know what team and what was the score? Okay. And she said duck. All this is symbolic. All this is codes. Okay. Codes for Masons. Okay. So there's a pattern I kept seeing, and I'm like, why am I seeing this pattern? When you're seeing synchronicities, you're seeing patterns. Football. So she was talking about football. So was she talking about? So she was talking about football. So what was the score that day for that team that he liked? Because I don't know why I was being drawn to baseball. So he went to another dimension. Somebody envied him very strong. They envied him. I'm talking about envy him. And there is a, right now, 33. There you go. Somebody envied him very, very strong. They envied him, and there is a division. Um, Oregon Ducks. Okay. Does anybody know the score on the 13th? September 13th. Okay, take your time, okay? So somebody said the Oregon Ducks. Okay, so that's symbolic. That's even symbolic where he's being buried. I mean, where they're having he's being buried at the stadium where the Arizona Cardinals play. All this is symbolic. Okay, Cardinals, Arizona, all symbolic. He came from Arizona. The Cardinals are the popes, the Knight Templars. Okay, all right. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you, JR. I love you guys. Thanks, Jada. Thanks, CW. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I don't even know how to say your name. Arjamad. Thank you so much. Okay, so they're concerned. Okay, this concern card came out before. Also, number 33. So, a fraternal order, a Scottish rank, German rank, English rank. The English would be under the same as the United States. England rank. Um, arms would be under the same as the England. I believe that. I believe it would be under the no English, the United States, and then you have the British. Get down, Storm. You have the British, the Scottish, and the German. Okay, so they're concerned. I also feel like the families here, family card came out before, so this had everything to do with his family. His family. He came from the family he was with, the family that he decided to support. Yes, there's more people involved in this. And the person that actually like did this was somebody that was military. And remember, I pulled in the other deck. This person was like a sniper. This person was military trained. I don't know the name of the fraternal order. I know it's a Scottish rank and order. And if I even say the names that I think it might be, shoot, I listen. I'm trying to stay alive here. Okay, just I would never take my life. All it's the Freemason order. Okay, 33. So they're concerned. It is definitely Scotland. So there's an order in Scotland. There's an order in Germany, and these are old orders. These are not new orders. Okay. Fraternal orders, yes, but they're old orders. They're not new orders. Okay. And what's happening is from like it's passed down to father to son, son to grandson. Okay. 4 to 5. Okay, so that's what I got. Wow, that's interesting. And so somebody said 4 to 5. So I got number 9. Okay, so I don't know if that somebody said 4 to 5. She said something about ducks, Oregon ducks, or something like that. Something with ducks. Okay, the letter has to be decoded. Okay, and it would take me like 5 videos to decode it. I mean 5 videos to share what I have decoded. Okay, and I don't have that type time. Okay, I don't get paid off of this. It's not that I'm getting paid. This is to educate you, okay, on who's running the show. Okay, these orders are running the show. So this is a Freemason order. This is a family, so this is passed down to generation to generation. I think he was 21. Was he 21 years old when he died? They love the organ ducks. Yeah, so the organ ducks is also symbolic. Okay, I don't know who owns the organ ducks. Um, I think the score was 4 to organ ducks on the September 13th. This what was the score on because he died on the 10th. So it would be September 13th. Does anybody know the score of the Oregon Ducks football team? Um, Somebody says that's German. Well, I got 3 different coat of arms here. I got a Scottish, well, 4 actually, I'm sorry, not 3, 4 coat of arms. I got a Scottish coat of arms, a German coat of arms, an England coat of arms, and a American coat of arms. Okay, 34, they won. Of course they would have won. Okay, an American coat of arms. So 6. So we got the number 6. So his 6th house. So 6th house in astrology. I think I talked about the 6th house in astrology. Health and service. Are they in the United States? This is fraternal, Jada. This is a fraternal order. Yes, they're United States. They're in the United States. They're in Scotland. They're in Germany. They're in England and the United States. And these are Freemasons, yes. Yes. And yes, they're a fraternal order. And there's something with time traveling. These people time travel. Byron will come back in the future, and he'll be in some type of political position. Byron Trump. Yes, 33. They're concerned. Because what's happening is there's a division in the Republican Party and division in these orders. Okay. He was 31 when he died. Somebody said they were married in Scotland. Storm. And these locations are symbolic. All these locations, even that place in Germany. I don't know what was going on in that place in Germany. I would love to know. Yes, he's a Libra. He was born October 14th, and he is 31. Thank you. So we got the number 4. And we talked about the 4 is foundation and the father. So it will be Charlie Kirk's father. Okay, and he took a journey. So, and I believe he went through a portal. Okay, I'm seeing a portal here. Somebody says Tampa Bay beat the Chicago Cubs. His auntie, hey, how are you guys doing? Yes, on September 13th, and that's number 4. So family, foundation, and fatherhood, and father. So reference into his father, his whoever his father is. Okay, and the next card is occupation. So it would be the father. So Bill Montgomery met Kirk as a teenager. I don't know who Bill Montgomery is. Is Bill, somebody gave him money. Okay, so the father's occupation. The same thing I was pulling on Jeffrey Epstein's energy. Bill Montgomery. I don't know who Bill Montgomery is. Met Kirk as a teenager. Somebody was his mentor. And his father's occupation is a fraternal order. And also, he's an architect. Okay? An architect. But he's also a Freemason. His last name is, I feel like his last name, Kirk, is a Scottish. Okay? I don't know who Bill Montgomery is. Okay? But they use numbers, they use codes. Codes aren't numbers, are codes. Language. They use all kinds of things, but especially symbolic. Her hands over his hands, her three fingers, his three fingers. Freemason pose. And it kind of looks like, if you look at this pose right here, how his fingers are cuffing his mouth. That's how her hands was cuffing his hands. Okay, Bill Montgomery gave him the money to start Turning Point. So did he give him $10 million? Anybody know? Because right here is the 10 million. Or 10,000. 21 million. 33. 34. 19 million. So I don't know much about this guy, but I heard about, so that makes sense. So he gave him money to start this foundation. So was he really the founder? Because I don't feel like Charlie was I feel like he was a co-founder. He was a CEO. This makes sense, but I feel like he went through some kind of damn portal, you guys. And the family rooms here. So his family, his the order, these fraternal orders, everything to do with his occupation, the way he was speaking. And there's a light here, and there's a darkness behind this light. So when we see the dark, we see the light, and then the dark, we believe good and evil, right? Okay, so Charles co-founded the company. That makes sense. That makes sense. So this boy, they were the ones that killed him. Okay. All right. So we got the coffin card. So they put an end to him, and I seen a portal. And I know this sounds crazy. So let's put one card on his wife's energy. I don't know who wrote. Maybe we can get a card on who wrote that speech that she spoke, because that wasn't her. So let's see. Let's put all the cards back. So I don't know if somebody gave her money for this speech. I mean, I don't know. I mean, so give me one. There it goes. I can't deny this card, you guys. I cannot. So this is in the bottom. Unexpected income. So did she receive money to give this speech? Somebody obviously gave her this paper to read off of. Okay. So give me the wife's energy. The Charlie Kirk's wife's energy. Oh my gosh. The house. So whoever gave her that letter to say came from the house, the White House. The White House. Give me a confirmation crossing this, because it came from her house, but who wrote this? She didn't write this. So she has relationships with, not saying relationships, but somebody is guiding her. And she needs to be very careful who's guiding her besides his family, because you can't trust these people in the house, okay? Because obviously they wanted him gone, okay? And so house. So I said, give me the energy on his wife, and the house card came out. The house is a temple, okay? The house is a very foundation. The rich target this university student is so evil. So you are the house. I am the house. Our physical body, our spiritual body is the house. So house. So her energy is showing up as house. Give me another clarification on the wife. House. There's that light and dark. There's that light and dark attributes. I'm seeing light and dark. So let's see what else card comes out for the wife's energy. Because we got house. House is her. So we got privileged lady. 1221. And she's crossing the house. So privilege would be privilege to information. Privilege on this pedestal. Do you know what I mean? I think she mentioned someone he was working with. The rich target these university students. Yeah, it's so evil. So she's showing up as a privileged lady. Okay, that got something that was typed or written, typed, and was told to give a speech. Now, who gave her this letter to speak? So she's showing up as a privileged lady. So she's privileged the family. Okay, somebody in the family. So don't think of it like family. Think of it like family outside family. So we got family. What's crossing? So somebody gave her this speech to say. So family room came up. So this is somebody in his family. I said don't think of it like family, but we have to think of it family because it says family room. So it's his father or the family that he belonged to. Okay, let's see. Pathway card. So her pathway was clear, and also so there's expectations from her. Okay, 28, 35, 21. So somebody in the family, I feel like father. Okay, father figure. And there's expectations on her. There was expectations on her to read that letter. I don't feel like she wrote that letter. Somebody told her to read that, okay? And there was expectations on her. And behind her is a old building, okay? I don't know if they have property in Scotland because I'm being drawn to Scotland. Okay. Wow. Okay, show me his wife's true nature. True nature. Oh, man. Wife's true. JD Vance says his wife flew her home. Yes. And the number 2, they flew in the number 2. That's even symbolic. So look to the second house in astrology. So one card on his wife. I feel like she's shown up as a mature man. This is weird. I feel like I need to go this one. The wife's energy. So mature. Okay, so this is interesting. Behind the mature man is a mature woman. So they're definitely getting guidance from an older couple. I know, even though she's older, they're getting guidance from a mature woman and man. I'm going to show you why. So I don't know if this is JD Vance or Donald Trump's energy, because Donald Trump's wife don't seem like she's... she's they're getting advice from a mature man and a mature woman, and this is a wealthy man. Okay. This mature man is a very wealthy man, and so is the woman. Yes, Melania could care less. So I think what I'm picking up is on JD Vance's energy. Okay. And if you look on this card, it kind of looks like JD Vance. Okay. And this kind of looks like his wife. Okay. So this will be the mature man and mature woman, okay? And he's a wealthy man, okay? So give me JD Vance's true intentions, true intentions towards Charlie Kirk. I want to know his true intentions because we already know this is a Mason order, multiple Mason orders here. Somebody says Melania. Could care less. Yes, this is why I feel like this is JD Vance's wife's energy, and this is would be JD's Vance energy, and this is a couple, and that's why they flew them on the plane. I don't know how old JD Vance is or his wife. It looks like his wife. This don't look like JD Vance, but this one does. This wealthy man. The wealthy man is the mature man. Okay, he's just shown up as a mature, wealthy man. Tati, can you shut my door, please? So he's shown up as a mature, wealthy man. Okay, so this will be JD Vance's energy. And I already told y'all about JD Vance. Okay. JD Vance is in his 40s. Well, I don't know. This is like a couple, and I'm being drawn to the Vance for some reason. And he's a wealthy man. There could be somebody behind JD Vance, but I'm seeing JD Vance. Wife and JD Vance energy. So I want to get one card on how does JD Vance feel about Charlie Kirk, JD Vance. Hold on. Okay, JD Vance, how does he feel about Charlie Kirk? One card. Wow, we got two cards. We got two cards. So let me tell y'all what I'm getting. I'm getting manipulative energy here. There's two cards and I have to say it. So two cards flipped out. We got the King of Pentacles. So how did he feel about Charlie Kirk? So we got the Earth energy here. So wealth, business, leadership. This is how JD Vance feels about Charlie Kirk. He felt that he was wealth, abundant, business-like. He felt like he had leadership skills, security, discipline. So he could Charlie was good at following orders. Abundance, prosperity, and generosity. So this is how he felt about Charlie Kirk. And he's holding the pentacle, right? He's holding that one pentacle there. So he knew that Charlie had a gift. Okay, Charlie definitely had a gift here. Charlie was he could bring in wealth. Okay, he was very business-like minded. I feel like he would have been even more business-like minded, but he was so young when he went through this damn portal. Okay. Also, he had leadership skills. He can draw in the youth. Okay, they needed that. Okay, because they're trying to get a particular group of youth, and I feel like this is like white Caucasian male, that type of youth. Okay, there was leadership, security. He was very disciplined. He's a university dropout. Okay, but it doesn't matter if he's a university dropout. Don't matter if you go to university or not. Okay, Charlie could bring them in. Okay, Charlie could bring them in. Okay, he should have been on Wall Street. Okay, he could bring them in. He can pull them in. Okay, JD Vance can't pull them in. Pull the youth in. Okay, he can't pull the youth in. Okay, but Charlie could, and JD Vance knew this. So did Donald Trump. And they knew that, and it's a yes card. Okay. They knew that he could bring in wealth. He can bring in business. He was business, leadership, security, disciplined, abundant, prosperity, and generosity. So they knew that he could bring people in. Okay, they knew that. So he would be the king of pentacles here. He can bring in the money. He can bring in the button. I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about the minds, the consciousness of the minds of these young white males. Okay. And then the card behind it, because this masonry, now we think it's run by white male, but if you look at it, the real families behind it, we have behind even not even the 13 families, not just the Rothschilds. You have the Colognes. You have the what's the other? There's so many of the families. Colognes, the Colognes, like the Mediterranean families. Okay. There's another family I'm seeing here. Barsini family. Okay. Barsini, Colognes, Collins, Barsini. I'm hearing Barsini. It doesn't matter if he's a university dropout. He was bringing in the white Caucasian males. He was consciously bringing them in. Okay. The way he was robotically like speaking, it was kind of like robotically. Okay. But he was getting their attention consciously, unconsciously, and subconsciously. Okay. I feel like he was trained. I don't know why I keep getting this energy. So this is JD Vance's energy towards Charlie Kirk. Is he knew that he can bring him in. Okay. Yes, the Colognes. It's interesting because Christopher Columbus' real last name is the Colognes, or the Collins family. Okay, the Collins family. They talk about the Collins family in the, what's that movie? Collins. I'm hearing Borloni. It's Italian families. Okay, we talk about the Rothschilds, but we don't talk about these other families. Okay, these Mediterranean families: Italy, Sicily, Spain, Portugal. Okay, even the European side of it. Okay, these family crosses bloodlines. They cross countries. Okay, yes, the clones. It's interesting because I can go tell you a story about that. The Collins family. I'm hearing the Collins, Collin, is also spelled Collon. That is my family's last name, but I don't believe I'm a descendant from those families. When I go to my dad's hometown, I will find out, but I don't believe so. But my dad's last name is Cologne. Okay. And when Christopher Columbus came over there, and the Pacifically area where my dad's from, there was only, I think, 200 families or less than that at the time, when the indigenous people was there. Okay. And if you look at the Colognes, the Collins family, they are originally from like Spain, Portugal, and that would make sense because the people that own my father, well, because my dad was from indigenous Taino tribe, but at one point, and I look at the crescent thing for the family crest, and it has the Pope pat on the damn family crest. Okay. Yes, and I'm hearing something with B. Borletti. What am I hearing here? No, the truth will never come out. The truth will never come out because they don't want it to come out, but something's happening. There's a shift here of consciousness, a shift in the right direction. Somebody says it was a Jewish man that gave him the money to start the business. Yeah, but we look at the what's some Jews called? Ashkawas, Ashka something Jews, and then we also look at, I'm hearing another family name. Yeah, it's a turning point now. Just like the name of the company, Turning Point. But my family is interesting. My my last name is a clone. The clone family was from Spain and Portugal. Um, and the popes, yes, I feel like the light is shining on trafficking and changing the world. Yes. So everything that is hidden from us will be revealed to us. Okay. So how did JD Vance feel about Charlie Kirk? Was he knew he could bring in the white Caucasian males. Okay. He was looked at with wealth. So he's looking at him as a business. Okay. More like a business partner. Okay. Business. This is all about business, right? The earth energy, earth and fire. Okay. He's also looking at him because this came behind it, and I have to say it. Betrayal, deception, getting away with something, acting, trickery. So maybe he was thinking that Charlie was acting trickery, or he betrayed him in some kind of way. And it's interesting, like I believe Charlie came across information. There's 2 swords that's in the ground, and the rest of the swords Charlie defeated, right? And this is JD Vance's. Well, JD Vance, how he felt towards Charlie. So he felt like Charlie defeated 5 entities or 5 different groups, but there was 2 like in the ground. You know what I mean? Like still fighting. Okay, so there's some kind of betrayal here. Or losing control, choices and responsibility, myths and secrets. I feel like Charlie had some secrets, and maybe he was going to expose these secrets. And I remember when they were talking about Epstein and then Israel, that's when there's a turning point for Charlie. Okay. And I believe that's where things turned. Okay. Damn. So let's get one card on how Donald Trump felt about Charlie. So they knew he could bring in the abundance, the wealth, the Christians. And my end of my video, I heard 45th. Okay. Now, some people can say the 45th was involved. But the real 45th is not the person we're seeing, okay? The 45th, the real 45th is not who you're seeing. Yes, I believe he was turning to some truths here, some hard truths. And when you turn to some hard truths, you're going to have some kind of, you're going to act different. You're going to talk different. You're going to, some people can't put on that poker face, okay? And he's tiptoeing. Okay, he's tiptoeing. So, like, he's tiptoeing with these swords in his hand, okay? Like, he's tiptoeing through them. Like, and he's looking back because he knows he got to watch his back of these other 2 swords. This is very interesting, okay? He's looking back at the swords. And it's like they have like circus tents up, okay? So he's looking. Look at him looking over his shoulder. So I believe Charlie did have some information too, you guys. On foreign land and on this land, okay? Now I asked about Trump, and the Lovers card came out. So love, harmony, relationships, unions, partnerships, passion, alignment, deep love, choice, strength of 2, home, responsibility, and balance. But Trump did see him as this young page energy. Okay? Yes. This came out on my previous read. He was young. So yes, double confirmation. He see him like Charlie was like, easy to manipulate, but also he could walk through them, but they also seen him, okay? And it's interesting that I say that because when I did that read, he said 45th, okay? So manifesting financial opportunities. So Trump's seen Charlie as a financial opportunity. Skill development, ambition, desire, and diligence. Okay, so there was more like a business partner. Okay, but he had Page energy. Page is young energy, so he wasn't experienced. Okay, now JD Vance over here, also seeing him in this kind of way, like he can bring in. We can't just think of the King of Pentacles as the king, because you have the prince, you have the king, and you have the Page of Pentacles, you have the King of Pentacles. So JD Vance is showing up as the King of Pentacles, and Charlie's showing up as the Page. So this is much younger, naive energy, not experienced, not seasoned. Okay, they knew this. Okay. But he could bring these white guys in consciously, unconsciously, and subconsciously, okay? And he was a threat to their establishment, okay? Because JD Vance, I'm telling you what JD Vance wants, okay? What does JD Vance want? I don't like JD Vance. I don't like none of them. And the Trump we're seeing is not the true Trump. I feel like JD Vance feels like he put in the work and he deserves this, but I feel like his energy is false. He runs off a Christian, like a Christian, but I don't feel like in my spirit, I don't feel like he's a true Christian. Yes. I don't feel like he's a true Christian. I don't know why I'm getting that. What does JD Vance want? We'll pull one from each deck. What does JD Vance want for America? Damn. Oh, shit, it said poverty. Poverty? Oh my gosh. He wants poverty? Damn. And wealth. So, he wants the wealthy to be wealthy and the poor to be poor. That's what JD Vance wants. Let me get another clarification deck on JD Vance energy. I told y'all. So the poor, he wants the poor to be poor and the rich to be rich. This is JD Vance's energy, okay? I don't like him. I don't like his spirit. I don't feel like his spirit is genuine. Let me shuffle this again. I don't feel like his spirit is genuine, okay? My dad used to say test the spirit. So look who JD Vance is coming out. So was JD Vance Kirk's mentor? Because I'm feeling like he was. Okay. With this Hierophant, tradition, religion, society, its rules, social improvement, conformity, forgiveness, bond, mercy, wisdom, and trust. So it was like he was the teacher, right? Let's get one more card on this. And I feel like Charles was this fool energy, right? You see the fool, he's walking and he's getting ready to go off the damn cliff and he don't even know it because he's in so much of this, he's memorized by this illusions and delusions, okay? So this would be Charlie's energy. He was the fool. Understand unlimited possibilities. So he was like, oh, there's unlimited possibilities, but he didn't know the mentor, okay, these mentors, okay. JD Vance wants a world that is rich and poor. There's no in between, okay. I don't feel like that he's good, you guys, and that's what I'm getting my spirit. You guys can believe whatever you want. This Taurus energy, this Earth energy, this Mother Gaia energy. So JD Vance has traditions. He has institution, religion, society, rules, social approve, forgiveness, bonded, mercy, wisdom, and trust. So I feel like Charlie trusted him, okay? And JD Vance showed up as this hierophant, like you can trust me. I have wisdom, right? But this fool energy is here, okay? The fool is the fucking fool, okay? You could play the fool, but I don't believe that this fool energy is here, okay? So this like naive page energy, okay? So definitely yes card here. So Charlie's just walking off into the life and not even, I mean, he's watching his back, but it's kind of like the fool here. The fool is going to keep walking until he falls off the cliff and not even knowing it, because he's so happy. He's skipping the beat, so jolly. Okay. So somebody says, what is the connection with Candace Owens? Let's get a card on Candace Owens. Candace Owens and Charlie. So I feel like, oh man, okay, so this is interesting that that card comes back up. Candace Owens energy towards Charlie's energy. And I want to pull one more in the wife's energy. So the Knight of Cups, so wow. Air and water, and he's an air sign. So I wonder if Kansas is a water sign. So this is very interesting. We have the Knight of Cups, and the Knight is riding in, and he's offering this cup, right, to Charlie. Okay, like, I'm going to help you, Charlie. I'm going to save you. I'm going to have your back. No matter what, I'm going to have your back. Okay. So this is creativity. So they have worked on projects together. I don't know if she's a water sign or she has a lot of water in her chart, but also water is about birthing something. So I feel like they were both birthing something new. Also, he is air with the Libra energy. He is the air element. Water is emotions and birthing something. You're birthing new ideals. You're birthing something new. Okay. Creativity. So they worked on projects together. Romantic, charm, imagination, beauty, knight and shining armor following the heart, prince charming, proposal. So Charlie, well, we asked for Candace Owens. So Candace Owens offered her cup to Charlie. Okay, so Candace has a cup for Charlie, okay? So Candace is, because this is Candace Owens energy. So yes, this is a yes card. So she could also have, so I don't know if she's a Scorpio, but Charlie was an air sign. She could have heavy Scorpio in her chart. So this is showing me that they worked on projects together, creative projects. It says romantic, charming. So she felt like Charlie was, I don't know if the romantic comes in there. Maybe she thought he was cute. Okay. Also, she thought he was very charming. His imagination, his beauty. He was a knight in shining armor, following the heart, Prince Charming, proposal. This is like a love offer type energy, but I feel like this is business. Okay, I don't know if Charlie and her ever had any kind of relationships, but damn, this is what this showing like. Maybe at one time Charlie was interested in Candace Owens. Can you guys imagine that shit? Charlie Kirk with Candace Owens. And she's a black woman. I feel like they worked on a lot of projects together. Okay, and I said, how does she feel about Charlie? She felt like he was the knight in shining armor. Okay, Following the hearts, Prince Charming proposals. So she made proposals to him. Okay, and maybe he didn't. Let's see. So this is Candace's energy. Okay, so Candace made a proposal to Charlie at some time. I don't know what kind of proposal. This is very interesting. Okay, um, she made a proposal to him. When I see the Knight of Cups coming in, like that shining armor, creativity, romantic, this is saying romantic. So were they any kind of like romantic, like flirtation kind of energy in the past? But definitely business. They had worked on business together. And there's a place in her heart for Charlie. She has a place in her heart for Charlie. So this kind of reminds me of like a crush, flirtation, or some kind of like not just business relationship, like love, like love. Okay. uh yeah, she was in love with Charlie. So she offered Charlie her love at some point. She offered Charlie her love. Wow. And I feel like he will always have a place in her heart. They work together on creative ideals, but there's some kind of romance here. I'm surprised I'm getting this, okay? Um she admired him. She thought he was the Prince Charming proposal. Okay, damn, was she going to propose to him? But she's offering up this cup, like this cup of love, this cup of creativity. Let's work together. Let's collaborate together. Okay, and it also says romantic. Damn, this is interesting. So, how did Charlie feel about Candace Owens? Okay, I feel like at one time they could have been in love. Wow, this is interesting. Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk could have been in love at one point. Well, definitely Candace. Let's see Charlie's energy. Okay, so Charlie's energy is the Two of Wands. So, towards Candace. So togetherness, a selling of energy, union, love, and balance. Yo, I think Charlie liked it. I think Charlie and Candace Owens has something going on. Hold up. Let me find out. Woo. So yes. So togetherness, duality, a settling of energy, union, love, and balance. What? Yes, and the behind it is a two. Okay, I got the Two of Wands and the Two of Cups. You guys, I believe like at. Okay, so I'm taking both of these. So Charlie's energy towards Candace. Okay, I'm gonna take these two. So was him and Candace in a relationship? Because I'm getting yes, yes, yes. I think they were in some kind of relationship. And I don't believe this is like business. I believe this is like love. Okay. And I feel like Candace will have a place in her heart always for Charlie. Okay. I can't even believe I'm even saying this. Candace and Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens has some love and business going on. Okay. There was love there. Like genuine love. Okay. Now this could have been before they were married or after they were married. Okay. They both were married, but I'm telling you, there's love here. Okay. Now, if I would have seen this spread and Candace would have called me and said, Jen, can you do a reading? I would have been like, look, marry this man. Okay. Marry this man. Because This is love. Okay. And this could have been before that he got married to this white, blonde-headed, blue-eyed, whatever color eyes she got. I'm gonna do a read on her separately, but he had feelings for Candace. Yes, it's a yes. So if Candace would call me and ask me, Jen, do a reading on my me and Charlie, I would have said, look, go ahead and marry this man, because they would have had a great future together. They would have had a great future. And this card came out and it was hiding. I'm going to explain this card. Okay. This card. Charlie found out about this. And he was going to talk about this. Okay. So we'll put this over here. So yes, I would have told them both, yes, take that move. If they called me for like advice as a seer, as an oracle, I would have said yes. Move ahead. Okay. So we got, but this is Charlie's energy. So Charlie was the fire, the passion. Okay. So Charlie was more passionate than Candace. Candace was more emotional. Okay. So Candace moves with her emotion. Charlie moved with his passion. Okay. So he was the fire. Okay. Candace is loyal, cute and loyal, but they had love, you guys. This was real love, okay? And I think this is before they were even married. But if they both would have called me to consult them, I would have said, go ahead and marry each other, okay? Because you guys, their love, their partnership would have lasted a long time, okay? So he's holding this globe, right? And he's looking out to the horizon, right? For his future. So a black woman in his, where he was at, okay, and he should have went past the boundaries, because he was pushing past boundaries, but he should have went farther past those boundaries, okay? If he would have chose Candace and would have married Candace, that would have been the best thing he could have ever done, because Candace would have been loyal to him, and also Candace really loved him. And I'm not talking about business, I'm talking about real love here, okay? But he was looking out to his future, okay? And could he marry this black girl, okay? And he had the world in his hands at this time, okay? And he was contemplating like taking that leap, but then also with this robe, I feel like he definitely was part of an order, and I feel like, so this is about planning, progress, making decisions. He made a decision. His decision that he made was to move forward instead of taking on Candace as a companion. Okay, I believe he should have took Candace on as a companion, because the love that they had was real. They had real love for each other. And I'm not making this up. And I'm going to tell you why. The card that came behind it. This is real love. But he made a decision. Okay, he looked at his life really hard, and he was like, could I go far politically with this black girl, educated black girl, smart black girl, very emotional black girl, Candace Owens, because she's driven with emotions, her emotions, and he's driven by his passion, the fire. So he had to make a decision, discovery, leaving home, travel plans. So I feel like also him traveling and looking in the eyes of the world like the old way instead of following his heart. I mean, they could have been married here, okay? Because there was love here. More than just work related, there was love. And the reason why I say this is the card behind it with this water energy, this Cancer energy. This Two of Cups, and they're making a union. So they made a pact. They made a vow to each other. Now, this is not a orthodox vow. This is like a vow to each other. No matter what, Charlie, I'm always going to be there for you. And Charlie said, no matter what, I will always be there for you, Candace. Okay, so they made a vow for each other. They made a vow to each other. They both gave each other their cups. Okay? They made a vow to each other a long time ago. So this is about unified love, partnership, mutual attractions, um, proposal, marriage, and connection. So they made a vow to each other a long time ago, you guys. And they did not marry each other. They went on different paths. But if they would have called me for a reading, I would have said take it, okay? Because they would have been together forever. So they made a vow. They made a commitment to each other. This was real love. And I think what was stopping him from choosing Candace, I can't even believe I'm going in this direction. What stopped this union? But they, no matter what, they made a vow. There's always going to be a vow here. It's going to be a vow. But if you see in this card here, he's wearing this brotherhood, okay, and she's wearing like this sisterhood, okay. 10-10. So they made a vow to each other. Now, what happened that Charlie did not marry Candace Owens? Okay, moon. Something was hidden. So the moon is about illusions, mystery, dreams, institution, fears, anxiety, subconscious, and premonitions. Like he could see the future. Okay, I believe he could. I believe definitely he could. So it's about completion and selflessness. So I feel like he looked at his whole future and everything, and he had fear and anxiety about taking that leap with Candace. Okay, and it was playing on him. Okay, because I believe they should have been together. Okay, I really believe that Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk. I can't believe I'm going in this direction. Okay, there was a lot of emotions here. He could have been crying because he couldn't be with her. It was like he couldn't be with her. It was like they couldn't be together. And I think a lot of it had to do with their race. But I'm shocked because if he was following his true heart, he would have chose Candace Owens. But he couldn't follow his own heart because there was illusions around him. Okay, fears and anxiety he didn't show to the world, but he had fears, he had anxiety, and he seen something in the future. Okay, he did see something in the future. I told y'all this. Okay, he could have even cried for Candace at one point, and Candace could have cried for him. Damn. And they could have been really young when they met. 18. I don't know what they met when they were 18. 20. Okay, so now what does Candace know about Charlie's death? Oh my goodness. This came in the reverse. Okay, so inner child, okay, the sun in reverse. So the number of new beginnings and success. So 1 million. No, he couldn't be with her. They were prepping him in another direction, yes. So this came in the reverse, the sun. So what Candace knows about Charlie's death, okay? She's filling down her inner child, overly optimistic, negative, depressed, sadness, careless, and ignorance. So somewhere he gave $1 million to who? So somewhere deep down in Candace energy, there's sadness and depression and careless, ignorancy. So she was ignorant about something and she was careless about something. So what she ignorant about and careless about? Because the sun is all about success. So she was ignorant about something. There's a lot of illusions here. They both had a lot of delusion, because of, this is where the ego self comes in. Okay, so there's something she knows that, so she was careless and ignorant about something, but about what? Okay, let's find out. And that card that flipped, I'll show you that card. I feel like I need to pull from about a community that they both are involved in. Okay, a community. So they were careless about a community. And this is where the ego comes in with the fortune and the family. So they were careless about, so both of them, Charlie and Candace Owens, if you're watching me, your ego is going to get the best of you. Because it happened with Charlie. His ego got the best of him. And this is sad to say. Because and what Candace knows about a community, she knows about a family, okay? She knows, okay? She knows. She's ignorant and careless. This means your ego and pride, okay? So she knows about some kind of community, some kind of family. She knows about this family and their great fortune. And give me another card on this. So the money in their ego is driving them, okay? And about something about some community, okay? These people could be from another country. I feel like from foreign lands. And theft. Theft is here. Okay, theft is here. Concern. Okay, so she's concerned about who took Charlie out. She knows more than what she's saying. That's all I'm going to say. She knows about this fraternal order. She knows about more than what she's saying. Also, this card flipped out. Oh, I think I'll put it back in. They know more than what they're... So they know about this fraternal order. They know about this great fortune, on how these people make their great fortune. She knows, he knows. They know about these communities that they're making great fortune from. And these families that bring in the great fortune. So she knows all this. Okay? Let's pull. And what else do we need? What else does she know? So she knows about a family and a community, and how they're making great fortune from communities, certain families, how certain families are making great fortune, and how these Freemasons are making great fortune. So she knows. Okay. Give me another card here. She knows. Okay. Lack of direction, creating conflict, self-limiting beliefs, spiritual path, newly formed ideals. Okay. So they had the same ideals. So they also both had on their spiritual path, newly formed ideals. So something changed with the way they were thinking. Okay. They found out some information. Will she be the one who tells the truth about what happened? She might be. But the problem is, she needs to be careful if she does. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because there's some direction of lack of direction. So when I'm seeing lack of direction, creating conflict, self-timing beliefs. So this is all about timing. Okay? So she needs to be careful about this, because in spiritual path, which she's not going to waver with her spiritual path, and she shouldn't, newly formed ideals. So what once her and Charlie was working on, they seen things in a new light, in a new direction, because they found out some truth. Okay, some truth to some information. Okay, that's what happened. Yeah, somebody from the White House, somebody wrote that speech. The wife did not write that speech. Okay, guys. All right, this is what I got. This is very long. Thank you guys for joining me. It's almost 2 hours. Jennifer Felix, you guys, comment below. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. This was on Charlie, his wife, and Candace Owens. I cannot believe this. That I was shown this with Candace. So I might have to come back and dig in more of the wife's energy. Because Charlie, I already see his energy. I already see Candace's energy. And I was shocked that Candace would come out as a lover. Okay. I'm talking about a real lover here. Like, he thought at one point he would marry Candace. Okay. But there's some kind of information that they found out that changed their way of thinking. Because if you see the first cards out was poverty and wealth for JD Vance, and how this would affect communities. And they were very concerned how this would affect communities, how this will affect families, and who was making great fortune, okay? Because it wasn't the people that was in poverty, it was the people of wealth, okay? And you have to have balance in economics. You have to have the middle class, and you have to have the rich, and you don't have to have the poor, though. Okay, the card that fell out earlier was trafficking card. So I feel like she found out about some human trafficking. Candace Owens and Charlie. There was some human trafficking going on, and they both knew about it. And they both talked about it. Toil and labor. So they knew that some children that came from poverty-stricken communities, war-stricken war places, poverty communities, people were making great fortune off these children. Okay, and these were communities, these were families. That's the secret her and Charlie had together. The toil and labor. This is human trafficking. So she knows about the human trafficking. So did Charlie. Okay, they know the whole everything. Okay, and this is war countries, because war is not natural. War is caused for people will go into these countries, aid workers. I'm seeing like Red Cross, I'm seeing the UN, and I'm seeing like UN, Red Cross, and those guys. Yeah, UN. That's what I'm seeing. Okay. And they would go in, and this has the UN colors on it. They would go in and say that they're helping these people. And I'm also getting, hold on, with this community card. Like, you know how you go in and you say, I'm going to do, we're going to go in as UN soldiers, and we're going to help these children, women. And they were doing horrific crimes. And they made great fortune off of this. She knows about it. Also, she knows about people going in as, so this would be UN, Red Cross, and like faith-based, so UN, Red Cross, and faith-based missionary workers. So she knew, and Charlie knew. Okay, and wow, they were concerned. Okay, that's all I gotta say. This video is for entertainment purposes. Jennifer Felix readings. That card is a card that flew out, and they know the theft. Okay, theft of innocence, theft of organs, theft of all kinds of stuff. Okay, they know. Okay, Charlie knew, and so does Candace Owens. Okay, and that is what, now Candace wants to tell this story about this human trafficking, She's going to have to be very careful. And the reason why I say this is because they made a vow to each other. Okay, double confirmation. A vow, a partnership. Okay, to bring this forward. And it's interesting that Charlie, I don't know if he talked about this, but someone was watching him. Okay. Now, Candace needs to be careful because somebody's watching her too. Okay. This video is for entertainment purposes. Okay. Somebody in high honor is watching her and was watching Charlie. Okay. And she knew, and so now I don't know how if they knew about them being watched, but they're definitely being watched. Somebody of high honor, somebody that's higher up, is definitely watching them, was watching Charlie and watching her. Okay. I don't know why I'm going to Candace Owens, but I am. And they're trying to take everything from her. Okay. This is for entertainment purposes. Somebody wants her fortune. Okay. Yes. Somebody wants her fortune. Somebody wants what she has built. So she has to be careful here. And this is for entertainment purposes. Jennifer Phillips readings. And I'm going to leave it there. Okay, you guys? All right. Thank you guys for joining me so much. Okay. Thank you guys. Hit that like button. Share my video. This was a journey. King Charles wore an outfit just like the card for the red portrait was done on him 2 years ago. Thanks. Yeah, but it could be. This is somebody of high honor. Okay. So I'm going to leave it there. I told you what I was seeing. I was seeing the Scottish, German, and Scottish, German, English, and English, England, and English order. Okay, so she has to, she's a black girl. Okay, but she needs to be very careful because she is making great fortune. And she is being shown as a privileged lady, but she's still in her ego, and she has to kill the ego. Okay, Charlie's saying she has to kill the ego. Okay, and not look at the money. Okay, because remember, Candace Owens is a black woman. Okay, always remember that, Candace. Don't forget that, my darling. Okay, this is Jennifer Phillips readings. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, you guys, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. All right, you guys, love you. Bye. Stay safe. Stay prayed up. Yes, she needs to be very careful. Okay, very, very careful. Okay. And the problem with her is she moves with emotions, and the problem with Charlie, he moves with passion. Okay. All right, you guys. Bye.